Not your mama's house. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Not Your Mama's House. I'm Mary Katherine.
Hello, and I'm Coco.
And we are back again one day after Halloween.
Woo-hoo.
Yes. How was your Halloween, Coco?
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. Friends, family, right?
Yes.
And I loved Baby, our baby, which is a 2-year-old, and that's what we call her, Baby. Just jumping up and down. Those kids were so wired on sugar.
I'm pretty sure the baby didn't have any actual dinner. She refused to eat she wouldn't eat any protein. She wouldn't eat mac and cheese. She wouldn't eat any broccoli, which she normally really likes broccoli. No, she was just all about the cookies
Yes.
and the chocolate dip pretzel sticks.
Oh my gosh. And I didn't tell you this. This is crazy. So there was this chocolate dipped Oreo cookie, and it was like a sucker. And so I noticed she took a couple bites out of it and put it on her plate.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I was cleaning up the kitchen, and I was like, well, I'll eat the rest of that. So then your husband comes in a little later and he goes, yeah, it was so funny. The baby was eating a chocolate dipped Oreo cookie, and Margot, which is the French bulldog, came up and took a bite out of it and was licking it and eating it.
Right after the dog.
I'm like, please tell me, did I eat that cookie? He's like, well, I don't think so. I'm like, oh no, I ate that cookie, didn't I? I'm like, oh, what will I have? Oh, some sort of, I don't know. Isn't that hilarious?
Will you have some sort of like Spider-Man abilities? But it'll
I
be like,
know. No, I'll turn into like Margot, the Frenchie, like a potato.
Super
She looks
potato.
like a potato running.
like Peppa Pig, super potato.
Yeah. And then I'll try to bite everyone like she does. All the other doggy friends.
The best too is Margot did get into a tiff with another dog that was there, and it was absolutely instigated by Margot because the other dog is like the most chill dog ever.
Sweet puppy.
And you go, I didn't think she had enough teeth to actually bite.
Well, I didn't, because she's tried to bite me before and she could never bite me. Maybe she really didn't want to bite me, but it's just, she's like, I mean, just.
But she's like, because she's a Frenchie, she's like,
she is. She's so crazy. So hopefully I did not eat that cookie. I'm just so hoping I didn't.
I hate to break it to you.
I didn't tell your dad that either, along with the bids that I made on a certain site, and God bless them. They were so nice, which I thought I was bidding on 10 cards for like $55, and I had all these
sports
bids.
Memorabilia cards, right?
Yes, thank you. Sports memorabilia, like baseball cards to be exact. Had all these cards, and I thought, oh, this is going to be so cool. I'll get all these cool cards. I thought it was like 10 for $55 or 10 for, $9.50 or 20 for $55. Come to find out, no, it was $55 per card.
Oh my gosh.
$9.50 per card. I just about passed out when I got my bill this morning, and it was $2,700 and $2,793.39. I was like, what just happened? I thought I was getting all of them. I thought, it'll be fine, $150. And I know someone that likes baseball cards, might be nice to give it to them as a little gift or what.
I like that you know the exact amount. That's how scarring it was, huh?
It was so scarring. And I was just like, my husband's going to kill me.
It left you shooketh.
It did. He's going to be so mad.
Well, and
oh my gosh. But they were so nice.
That's
the
good.
place was so nice. They charged me a small fee, and I didn't have to pay it. I just explained to them. Of course, they can see my history, that this was really the first time that I'd purchased anything. Note to self, read all the fine print.
Yes. Well, and you really wouldn't want to drop something like that on Poppy's plate because he's already shooketh from his air conditioning unit situation.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Yes, he certainly is.
I just really love that he is always on to me and my sister about making sure our home maintenance is up to date and making sure we're checking in the attic and making sure that, at least once every 6 months we're going and checking in the attic to make sure that everything is okay and no mold is growing.
That's true. That is so true.
He's clearly been delinquent on his duties because...
get this. So it wasn't that the pipe was stopped up. It was like a broken pipe. Like it somehow cracked.
Had he been doing his semi-annual inspection that he tells me and my sister to do of our homes,
I know,
he would have found that, and he wouldn't have had a whole moldy situation in the attic.
Oh, right. I not that I'm saying it's moldy, but it is definitely wet, and hopefully we caught it in time. But yeah, I don't think it's to that point yet. But it's such a blessing because when you look at it, it could have been so much worse. Like the water came through. Well, we knew we had a leak when the water came through Poppy's closet light. And it's like pouring through his light. So, I mean, it could have gone on his clothes. And of course, we were gone for like 12 days. It could have happened then, and we would have had a real problem, or it could have gone onto, all of the built-in closet area that we have, which would have been a mess. So it was the best of a bad situation.
I have a conspiracy theory.
What?
Poppy always prefers to wear his old grubby clothes over his new outfits.
Yes.
Did you go up there and yes, you did go up there and subtly crack the pipe so that it would destroy his closet. So then it's like, sorry, you can't wear any of this because it's moldy and wet. So now you only can wear nice new clothes.
I know.
New outfits I buy you.
It's true. Poppy does do that.
It's so funny.
I buy him the cutest, as he says, outfits. Where's my outfit? He always does the quote.
Yes.
Outfit. And he goes consistently to his closet and gets the oldest clothes.
For like nice dinners and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But, once again, the best thing ever, his granddaughter making him feel guilty. We told you this at the Greenbrier, but it's still the best story ever when, we're going to a very dressy and very nice occasion, a dinner, and he comes in with his outfit on, and our granddaughter says to him, Poppy, are you sure you're fancy enough? She was like 4 at the time, 3. And he's like, oh, maybe I'm not. So, yay.
So
girlfriend.
He changed. Good
yes,
job.
For his granddaughter. I'll listen to his wife.
It's the peer pressure.
It is. No kidding.
Well, okay, real fast, back to Halloween. So it was really funny because I think in my head, I was like, this is going to be so cute because my niece is going to be Bluey, then my middle was going to be Bingo, and my baby was going to be Muffin, all from Bluey. And then I had this really cool shirt that was a Bluey deep cut. It said, I play by Lucky's dad's rules. It's from the Pass the Parcel episode of Bluey. And then I had Chili, which are Bluey and Bingo's mom. I had Chili dog ears on.
Oh, cute.
So problem number 1 is I'm getting Holland's Bingo costume, and she's like, I don't want to be that. I want to be a black cat. And I was like, well,
oh my goodness,
we can't be a black cat because you were really frustrated with that costume because it has like lots of pieces to it, and she was not about it when she wore it earlier in the week. And I was like, so let's be Bingo because your cousin is going to be Bluey and your sister is Muffin, and we kind of need you to be Bingo, to play your part.
Yeah.
She's like, no. So then she's like, you know what I'm going to be? I'm going to be Elsa. And in my mind, I'm like, she's going to get there and her cousin's going to be like, why aren't you matching me?
Yes.
And then what made me think of this is the peer pressure thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then it's going to be peer pressure, and then she's going to want to wear her bingo costume. So I took it with us over to my sister's house, really praying that my niece would be clutch and be like, you gotta match me, kid.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Basically, my niece was like, she can be Elsa. And I was like, so then we go trick-or-treating, and my niece and my middle decided that they wanted to ride in the wagon. My baby was trying to stay ahead of the crowd with my 8-year-old and her friend, who, mind you, my 8-year-old was like, pretend like you don't know us. So even whenever she got something cool, I'd be like, wow, cool candy. And she'd be like, oh, thanks. And just like walk away like she didn't know who I was. So it was like, cool.
That age.
Yes.
Starting early.
Anyway, but my baby was like chasing after them. So then it was just my baby, which was Muffin, and me, Chili, the mom. So our costume really broke down. But
yeah, totally fell apart. But what was funny is I know Holland has all kinds of like super cute costumes because I know because I've bought them some in the past as well. Dinosaurs and this and that. I mean, really nice stuff. And she comes like with her Elsa outfit on, and the little things, like the little plastic things, are tied at the shoulders.
Well, I had to do that because
I know.
It's falling
I was
off
cracking.
of her.
I'm like, yep, that's just how it is. It was hilarious. That was so funny.
One of these days, we'll have a really cute, cohesive family costume, but
oh well,
that day's
whatever.
not today. I know.
Yeah, it was cute anyway. She's so wonderful and beautiful. They're all that way, just wonderful and beautiful. She looks so cute in that little costume and was so proud of it.
Oh, yes. She was very excited. She got that as a birthday gift.
Isn't that precious?
Yes.
It was so cute.
Okay, so real quick, listeners, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And also, if you have an interesting house or a cool story about a house, anything of the sort, please write to our.roomies, ROOMIES, @gmail.com. And also, remember I had been telling you I wanted to watch NCIS Origins?
Oh, yes.
So I finally watched it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to watch it.
It's a lot different than the original NCIS, but it's just because the original NCIS was written in a different time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Like this one has more feelings about it. You know, the other one was just like boom, 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 boom. You know, just like very.
Yeah. Kind of direct.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Hey, did you tell everyone what this podcast is about?
No, I didn't, but I can. And
okay.
You can help me.
Oh, you're so good at it. I'll just let you do it.
So this is a podcast for anybody who loves to learn the history of really amazing, unique homes from all over the world. And we try our best to keep this PG because we want to make sure that this is a family-friendly podcast. And we don't want to be offensive with our language. We try to also include some comedy because my mom in her first life was a stand-up comedian.
I wish.
You were. I can tell.
Oh, there you go. What can I say?
Anyway, so this podcast is really for everybody. It's not really geared toward a certain demographic because I think everybody likes history. Everybody likes houses, you know, or some sort of combination of all of those things.
That's right. And of course, you know, when you're a little, not that I'm older, but if people were about my age, it's always good to kind of keep your brain active.
Definitely. And, you know, I know there are news podcasts out there and interview podcasts and politics podcasts and, you know, but I think this is a specific group that really doesn't get very many podcasts for them,
Right. That's
talking
right.
about history and houses and the families behind them
Right. Yeah,
and a good laugh.
that's right. So should we get started?
Indeed, let's do it.
All right. Well, today's discussion will focus on the infamous Mar-a-Lago. And I'm sure that most of you know that it's currently owned by Donald J. Trump and his family, or occupied by Donald J. Trump and his family. Since owning Mar-a-Lago in 1985, it's been the site of many historic meetings, such as with the Japanese Prime Minister, the Chinese President, and when Donald Trump was president, number 45, it was dubbed the Winter White House or the Southern White House. However, prior to Donald Trump owning the property, it had its own unique history. The picturesque property that you're currently looking at or you're currently viewing is what the property looks like today. The name Mar-a-Lago in Spanish, and let me just say, I do not speak Spanish.
Even though she lives in Texas.
I know. I don't speak Spanish. It's, I probably need to. Anyway, the name Mar-a-Lago is Spanish for sea to lake. It spans the entire width of Palm Beach from the Atlantic Ocean to Lake Worth Lagoon. The grammatically correct rendition of the name would be Del Mar-a-Lago.
Yes.
Again, I'm pretty sure I did not say that correctly.
No, you did.
Well,
Del Mar-a-Lago.
There you go. Yeah, very good, very good. So these two pictures kind of describes where it is. And if you look on the left-hand side, which I believe that would be the top left-hand side of your screen, you can see the red dot. That is where the home is located. And you can also tell that it goes from the Atlantic to that Lake Worth Lagoon area.
Can we just...
Are you going to ask me another hard question?
I was just
I
going
wish you would not ask me questions. Okay, go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to ask you a question,
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
I was going to say, can we all just appreciate that you, the boomer of this podcast,
That's right.
are more high-tech and you actually have pictures presented to our listeners?
Thank you. I'll do my famous Elvis impression. Thank you. Thank you very much.
See, now I have to step up my game. I may have made you step up your research game, but now you're going to make me step up my presentation game.
There you go. Are we competitive or what?
What? Not in this family.
Oh, never. We are not. We support each other.
We do, but we like to have fun, and we are always striving for greatness.
Yes, whatever that is. Yeah. Okay, so during the 1920s, Florida, which was during the Florida land boom, Marjorie Weatherman Post, which is the heiress to Post Cereals, and of course Post Cereals was later purchased by General Foods, which probably is why she became the wealthiest woman in the United States. She paid for the house and had the house built for she and her husband, which was Edward F. Hutton. She hired Marion Sims Wythe as the designer and Joseph Urban for interior design and exterior decorations. At that time, in the 20s, Post spent $7 million, and in 2023, that was it would be the equivalent of about $123 million. It was finished in 1927. At that time, it was the most expensive non-royal residence, put your hand down, built in history. It's built on 17 acres of land, and the house spanned 126 rooms and was 62,500 square foot in size. Yes, I shall take your question now.
Thank you. Where is Mar-a-Lago located? Like what town?
That would be Palm Beach, Florida.
Yes, which is an island off the Atlantic coast, right?
Why does she always do this to me? I said Palm Beach. Wait, can't you hear me? I said Palm Beach. I know. I kind of move back and forth.
Got it. Palm Beach.
Palm Beach.
Home of Lily Pulitzer, our favorite designer.
Okay, that's right. She is. I have to agree. Ooh, pickles. Sorry about that.
She's
folks.
clothed our family for many an occasion.
That's right. That's true. Hutton and Post regularly used Mar-a-Lago as their winter residence, typically staying from mid-January to late March. Post hosted dinner parties, charity events, concerts, costume balls, and even a circus. In 1935, Hutton and Post divorced, and Post married the Washington lawyer Joseph E. Davies, who was appointed ambassador to the Soviet Union. Mar-a-Lago was closed for 5 seasons, so that would be, like a winter, spring, summer, fall, maybe winter again. 5 seasons.
Where?
Time period.
So like a year.
Don't ask me.
A year and 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay, other question. The look of doom on your face. Where did Marjorie Post live when she wasn't living at Mar-a-Lago?
I don't know.
You didn't? You didn't?
Okay, so I think it was someplace. Maybe I think it was
someplace on Earth.
Like maybe in the north. I don't know.
Wow. You know what?
Hillsdale, I think.
That was honestly a good answer because I'm just saying, if you're a snowbird, you're not living in Houston and going to Palm Beach.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because if you would let me finish, it was her winter residence. Actually, I may have forgotten to say.
You already said that.
I did?
Yes.
Okay. So then there you go. Okay.
I just didn't know if she lived in New York and she had famous neighbors up there. Sorry.
Yes, let's go with that.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. So, after the 5 seasons, as MC said, 1 year and 3 months. Thank you. Post made only brief visits to Mar-a-Lago in the early 1940s. So, in the early 1940s, just brief visits to Mar-a-Lago. I thought I would restate that just in case there was a question. She did not stay on the estate from 1941 to 1948. That would be 7 years.
Was that partially because of World War II?
Well, I don't know. Just stop asking these hard questions.
You just always do these very interesting houses, so I'm just intrigued. I'll go and do my own research.
Okay, but I don't think you'll find that.
One could hypothesize that given the wartime, perhaps she didn't.
Right.
Because why would you want to be closer to the enemy?
Well, and that being said, you're exactly right, because in April 1944, the house was turned into a training center for returning servicemen.
Oh.
So if you would let me finish.
I'm sorry. We're just so on the same page that it's almost like I can anticipate what's coming next.
Yeah, right. Okay. Post returned to Mar-a-Lago in 1948 and began to host, once again, social events. Beginning in 1957, it traditionally hosted the International Red Cross Gala. In 1961, a pavilion with a 30-foot by 50-foot dance floor was built where square dancing events were held. So that's square dancing.
Dancing for squares?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Yes, that was it. So, that's it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the Trump ownership. Before the purchase of Mar-a-Lago, Trump had purchased land between Mar-a-Lago and the ocean from Jack C. Massey, which was the former owner of KFC.
Okay, wait. So
for $2 million.
I like
he
it.
later.
I just want to know, Did somebody own it in between Marjorie Post and Donald Trump?
Yes, this Jack C. Massey. So the property was still owned by Post.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So in the meantime, so this is before the purchase of Mar-a-Lago. The Trump purchased land between Mar-a-Lago and the ocean from Jack C. Massey, the former owner of KFC, for $2 million. He later purchased Mar-a-Lago for about $7 million, which was in 1985. So different sources say that there probably was about a $10 million investment. After the purchase, extensive renovations were done, including the addition of a 20,000 square foot ballroom. The club itself has 5 clay tennis courses and a waterfront pool. Trump's wife at the time, Ivana Trump, managed the property. In 1994, Trump turned the estate into a private club. And the new club hosted concerts by celebrities such as Celine Dion and Billy Joel, and had beauty pageant contests as guests. It still frequently hosted the International Red Cross Ball, which is, if you remember correctly, Post had started that. And it also hosted the annual White Tie Tails and Tiara event, which was founded by Post. In 1922, Forbes estimated the value of the estate at around $350 million, and according to Forbes, real estate experts outside the Palm Beach, or experts of Palm Beach, guessed that Mar-a-Lago was worth about $725 million.
At that time or now?
So this was in 1922.
Wait, 1922?
Excuse me. Thank you. 2022.
Okay.
Forbes estimated the value of the estate at around $350 million. And then according to Forbes, the real estate experts outside of Palm Beach guessed that the place was worth more than $200 million, while brokers on the island thought it would be worth far more. So they estimated it would be about $725 million.
Got it.
Thank you for clarifying that. When Forbes last valued the property in March, they said, and this is a quote, "We went with a conservative $350 million as the value of the property." And if you remember, there was a lawsuit filed in 2022. Wasn't even born then. Hard to know by looking. But anyway, in 2022, the lawsuit was filed by New York Attorney General Letitia James, and she alleged that Trump inflated the value of the Mar-a-Lago to $739,000, and she claimed that the property was only worth $75 million.
Which is crazy because
it is crazy.
I know this is really funny. This is okay. I'm going to just give you all case in point of why my mom and I do this podcast. For fun, sometimes in the evenings, I really love to go on realtor.com, and there's a filter for age of home, and I put it at like 100 years plus. So it gives me Art Deco or like homes from the 1920s and older.
Right.
And I love to go, especially in Miami, Palm Beach, kind of along the Florida coast.
Right.
And look at the Mediterranean revival homes, because when I grow up, my house is going to be redone in a Mediterranean revival style with like actual period pieces and period details and stuff like that. Anyway, and so I get my inspiration from specifically Miami, Coral Gables area, and Palm Beach, because there are several beautiful Mediterranean revival houses from the 1920s through 1940s that still exist.
Right. That's right.
And so specifically, when you go and look at the Palm Beach real estate, it is crazy the asking price for like
It's crazy.
a 2,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like $7 million for like 2,000 square feet or something like that, you know, and like
On a small piece of property.
and not anywhere close to the water.
Right. Yeah.
So
I
anyway,
know.
extrapolating
75
that.
million. Yeah. No. But anyway.
Interesting.
Okay. So let me move on. I think one point that I didn't make and I wanted to make earlier, and I'm going to flip back to this slide, is that the property has been noted and placed on the National Registry. And the reason it was placed on the National Registry is that it was viewed as a baronial, referring to barons and baronesses.
Baronial?
Oh, you might be right. Is it baronial?
I think so.
Property?
Mm-hmm. I will Google this.
Okay. So anyway, to kind of note the wealth that was in Florida during the 20s and all the unbelievable homes that were built.
Baronial, belonging or relating to a baron or barons, suitable
Baronial.
for a baron.
There you go, baronial.
And are you going to talk about some of the details that are inside the house?
Let's move to the next slide.
Can I just say really fast, one of my favorite names because Mar-a-Lago is a club now, so they
Yes.
have rooms with names.
Uh-huh.
And one of my favorite names is Gumbo Limbo. It's a type of tree.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's...
And I really just want to buy a Gumbo Limbo tree just so I can say I have a Gumbo Limbo tree.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the architectural style, layout, and materials. And if you look on the slides, you can see some of those. The original house plan in the bottom left corner. And in the top corner shows a picture of the house as well. And that would be, I believe that one was... a recent picture. Certainly the pictures on the right-hand side are those pictures that are recent. Architecturally, the resort is Spanish Revival style, and the house is a Mediterranean-style villa, an adaptation of the Hispano-Morisque, which was popular in Palm Beach at the time. So that would be in the early 20s. It has a 2-story central block. So there are two 2-story central blocks, and you can see on the original, a picture of the original plan, that there's kind of one on the left and one on the right. They're 2-story, and both blocks house family quarters and service areas in the lower parts of the wings and buildings. This arrangement was chosen by Mrs. Post to keep the main house from appearing too massive and to separate the family and service areas from those used for entertaining.
So she hated half of her family and was like, y'all are going to stay over here.
Yeah,
and I'm
pretty
gonna stay over here.
much. Yeah, like, ta-ta, see ya.
Just kidding.
See ya and wanna be ya. No. The house is topped by a 75-foot tile roofed tower, which you can see in the picture on the top, containing bedrooms, baths, and an observation deck, which commands an extensive view of Palm Beach. Among the imported materials used were 3 boatloads of Doria stone from Genoa, Italy. The Doria stone is visible on the exterior walls.
Pink is Doria stone.
Right. It's also visible in some interior structures, such as arches and the bar wig sculptures. So bar wig sculptures refers to Barwig, which was an Italian sculptor from 1868 to 1931, or his son, Franz Barwig the Younger, from 1903 to 1985. So Doria stone is a fossil-bearing limestone, and the reason it was chosen is for its quality of rapidly aging and giving that old world look, and its suitability for intricate carving. And it's interesting because the stone itself gets its name from the Doria family, which are in Genoa, Italy. And the limestone is what was used on their palace in, I think, in about year 1529, which today the Doria family still are owners of that palace. And if you go to Genoa, Italy, then you will see, you can tour the facility or the palace itself.
So their last name was Barwig?
No, their last name was Doria.
No, I know, but the Franzes.
Yes, their last
Do
name
you
was
think
Barwig.
do you think they hung out at the bar a lot? And in fact,
And wore wigs.
Well, I was gonna say maybe their last name was actually like Smith, and so it was like there were a million Franz Smiths, and so they're like, you know what, we're giving you a different last name.
Yeah.
You're at the bar a lot. You're hanging out like a wig on someone's head.
Yeah, either that or they're wigged out.
So they're
Sorry if we're making fun of anyone's name. It's truly a beautiful name, but
I mean,
wanted to say.
You know what? I think that if you have the last name Barwig, you're probably going to make fun of yourself too.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, there are approximately 20,000 roofing tiles and 2,200 black and white marble floor blocks that were resourced from a Cuban castle, which I think is really cool. Of particular interest are the unique Spanish tiles used lavishly in the entry hall, patio, cloisters, and some additional rooms. A collection of nearly 36,000 15th century tiles that had been assembled in the 1880s by Mrs. Horace Havermeyer. The collection is possibly one of the largest in the world. So the
collection of tiles?
Right. That's right. That Miss
Tile collector.
Horace Havermeyer put together.
That is actually what I want to do, is start collecting stuff for when I redo my house and make it actual, authentic Mediterranean revival.
I think that's really, that would, and your house is headed that way. It's really so beautiful. The house currently has 58 bedrooms, 33 baths, and a 29-foot long, and this is a tricky word to say. It is Italian, and I'm trying to remember how to say it. I had to look it up, actually. It's pietra dura marble top dining table. So a pietra dura is an Italian art form that involves inlaying colorful, polished stone into a hard surface, and it's usually marble to create these images or mosaics. It also has 12 fireplaces and 3 bomb shelters, which is cool. On April the 18th, 2023, and this goes back to what I spoke of earlier, the American Institute of Architects Florida chapter ranked Mar-a-Lago the 5th on the Florida Architecture 100 places to see.
What was number 1?
My house.
Not your mama's house.
Not your mama's house. Not your mama's house. So that gives you just a snippet of this magnificent property that is just, I mean, you could probably do 2 or 3 hours just talking about this piece of property itself. And no, I don't know who owned it, the property before the Post family bought that vacant property.
Oh, I think that Henry Flagler, who founded Palm Beach, owned a lot of it.
Maybe.
He was one of the original founders of Standard Oil.
Oh, okay.
So, and I didn't realize this until this summer, but Mar-a-Lago doesn't have a golf course. I thought it did because there is a golf course or maybe two on the island of Palm Beach.
I thought I read it had a 27 hole golf course.
Well, from what you read, it has tennis courts.
Right.
But it doesn't have a golf course.
But another piece that I read said a 27
hole
golf course. Yeah.
I don't think it does.
Maybe not. But then again, the club itself could be another complete discussion because it's pretty magnificent as well.
It doesn't. There is the Mar-a-Lago Club, but it's 5 minutes away from Mar-a-Lago.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not attached to
Right.
Mar-a-Lago.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it is the Mar-a-Lago Club. Once again, a whole, if you wanted to.
It's actually not. It's the Trump International Golf Club.
Right.
On West Palm Beach.
Okay.
So it's 5 minutes away. It's not on actual Palm Beach.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because something else. Actually, I knew this because I had some friends, and some were from Palm Beach, and some were from West Palm Beach. And I was like, oh, so did y'all go to school together? And one of the girls was like, Palm Beach is not the same as West Palm Beach.
Oh, yes. That's
and I was
right.
Like, oh, sorry, didn't know.
Yes.
You both have Palm Beach in your name of your city.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. So that basically concludes my discussion. And you have anything additional to add?
So what does it take to be a member of, because now it's a private club, right?
Right. And so I think that would be another complete discussion as well. I did, because my focus was just really on the home and the historic aspects of the home. But the club itself, I do think it takes about $200,000 to join, but I'm not sure.
And a lot of the architectural elements that you mentioned, were those there initially when Marjorie?
That's right.
Okay.
That's
So was there any renovations aside from that ballroom that were done when Trump owned it?
Well, as I mentioned, when Trump took over, he did some renovations, and I didn't see that there's been any additional renovations. I'm sure there has been. But what was interesting, I was looking online to see if I could find a current layout of his house, and I'm pretty sure I'm on the FBI's most wanted list now. I could find nothing. And I searched all different ways. I could find nothing.
And now on all of your phone calls, you're going to hear a click, click.
I know. Just because I wanted to do this podcast. It was so strange. I'm like, ooh, and I get it. That should not, as I started thinking about it, that should not be on, the internet for public viewing. But, it would have been good to have had what it looked like then and what it looks like now. But nevertheless, there are some beautiful rooms. It's a beautiful piece of property with tremendous history.
So was there always a swimming pool, or was that something that got added?
Yeah, I think there was. I was looking at the original piece. Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
And then, so if you want to stay at Mar-a-Lago, can members of Mar-a-Lago stay there, or do you know how that works?
I don't, because once again, I just focused on the historic aspect of the property, not what it would be to live there today or stay there today.
I gotcha. Okay, one other question. Sorry, I'm grilling you, but I'm curious because it's interesting and it's just such a neat historic piece of property. Was it always pink?
I think that what you see is how it was originally. If someone knows something different, you're welcome to just
Write in to
yeah.
our.roomies@gmail.com.
Exactly.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to this hot mess.
And God bless.